ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಸರ್ವೇ ಭವಂತು ಸುಖಿನಃ, ಸರ್ವೇ ಸಂತು ನಿರಾಮಯಾಃ, ಸರ್ವೇ ಭದ್ರಾಣಿ ಪಶ್ಯಂತು, ಮಾ ಕಶ್ಚಿತ್ ದುಃಖ ಭಾಗ್ ಭವೇತ್. ಎಲ್ಲ ಆತ್ಮೀಯರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಈ ದಿನ ಈ ಸುಂದರ ಸಂಜೆಯ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ತಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಆತ್ಮೀಯ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. ಶ್ರೀ ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣ ಪರಮಹಂಸ, ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ವಿವೇಕಾನಂದ, ಶ್ರೀ ರಮಣ ಮಹರ್ಷಿ, ನಾರಾಯಣ ಗುರು, ಹೀಗೆ ಇನ್ನು ಅನೇಕ ಮಹನೀಯರು ತೋರಿದ ಆದರ್ಶ, ಸಾರಿದ ಸಂದೇಶ ಇಂದಿಗೂ ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಪ್ರಸ್ತುತವಾಗಿದೆ. ಮಹಾತ್ಮ ಗಾಂಧೀಜಿಯವರು ಹೇಳಿದರು, ಮೈ ಲೈಫ್ ಈಸ್ ಮೈ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಅಂತ. ಅವರ ಜೀವನವೇ ಒಂದು ಪುಸ್ತಕವಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಈ ಸಾಲಿಗೆ ಸೇರಿದ ಮಹಾನ್ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ರಾಮತೀರ್ಥ. ನಂತರ ಅವರು ತೀರ್ಥರಾಮರಾದರು. ವೇದಾಂತವನ್ನು ಅರಿತು, ವೇದಾಂತವನ್ನು ಬದುಕಿ, ನಿಜಾರ್ಥದಲ್ಲಿ ವೇದಾಂತ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನಿ ಎನಿಸಿಕೊಂಡ ಅವರ ಪ್ರೇರಣೆಯಿಂದ ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯೇ ಶ್ರೀ ರಾಮತೀರ್ಥ ಸೇವಾ ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್. ಉದ್ಧರೇದಾತ್ಮನಾತ್ಮಾನಂ ಎಂಬ ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತೆಯ ಧ್ಯೇಯ ವಾಕ್ಯದೊಂದಿಗೆ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭವಾದ ಈ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆ ಭಾರತೀಯ ವಿಚಾರಧಾರೆಯನ್ನು ಸಾಂಸ್ಕೃತಿಕ, ವೈಚಾರಿಕ ಹಾಗೂ ಸಾಮಾಜಿಕ ಸ್ತರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಸಮಾಜಕ್ಕೆ ತಲುಪಿಸುವ ಮೂಲಕ ಈ ಮಹಾನ್ ಕಾರ್ಯವಾದ yendu ಮಾಸದ ನೆನಪು ಎಂಬ ಶೀರ್ಷಿಕೆಯನ್ನು ಕೈಗೆತ್ತಿಕೊಂಡು ಅದನ್ನು ಕಳೆದ 14 ವರ್ಷಗಳಿಂದ ಸಮರ್ಪಕವಾಗಿ ನಡೆಸಿಕೊಂಡು ಬರುತ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಯೋಗ ಗುರುಗಳಾದ ಸನ್ಮಾನ್ಯ ಶ್ರೀ ರಾಘವೇಂದ್ರ ಶರಣಯ್ಯವರು. ಈ ಘೋಷವಾಕ್ಯದ ಮೂಲಕ ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತೆಯ 6ನೇ ಅಧ್ಯಾಯದ 5ನೇ ಶ್ಲೋಕವಾದ ಉದ್ಧರೇದಾತ್ಮನಾತ್ಮಾನಂ ಎಂದರೆ ತನ್ನನ್ನು ತಾನೇ ಉದ್ಧಾರ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳಬೇಕು, ತನ್ನನ್ನು ತಾನು ಕುಗ್ಗಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳಬಾರದು, ತನ್ನನ್ನು ಎಂದು ಅವಹೇಳನ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳಬಾರದು. ಏಕೆಂದರೆ ಈ ಮನಸ್ಸೇ ತನ್ನ ಬಂಧುವು ಹಾಗೂ ಈ ಮನಸ್ಸೇ ತನ್ನ ಶತ್ರುವು ಕೂಡ. ಇಂದಿನ ನಮ್ಮ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸ ಮಾಲಿಕೆಯ ವಿಷಯ ದೈನಂದಿನ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ವೇದಾಂತದ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇದೆಯೇ, ವೇದಾಂತವು ಅವಶ್ಯಕವಾಗಿದೆಯೇ ಎಂದು. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಇನ್ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್, ಈಸ್ ವೇದಾಂತ ರೆಲೆವೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ಡೇ ಟು ಡೇ ಲೈಫ್. ಈ ವೇದಾಂತದ ಪಯಣದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಮಗೆ ವಿಶದವಾಗಿ ತಿಳಿಸಿಕೊಡಲು ಇಂದು ನಮ್ಮೊಂದಿಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಆತ್ಮೀಯ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ತಿಮ್ಮಪ್ಪ ಹೆಗ್ಗಡೆಯವರು. ಅವರು ನಮಗೆ ಹೊಸಬರೇನಲ್ಲ, ಈ ಹಿಂದೆಯೇ ಗುರುವಿನ ಮಹತ್ವದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತಿಳಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಹೀಗಾಗಿ ಅವರ ಪರಿಚಯ ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಆಗಲೇ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಆದರೂ ಸಹ ಔಪಚಾರಿಕವಾಗಿ ಅವರ ಕಿರು ಪರಿಚಯ ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡುವುದು ನನ್ನ ಸೌಭಾಗ್ಯವೆಂದು ಭಾವಿಸುತ್ತೇನೆ. ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ತಿಮ್ಮಪ್ಪ ಹೆಗ್ಡೆ ಈಸ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ಲಿ ದ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಸೀನಿಯರ್ ಕನ್ಸಲ್ಟೆಂಟ್ neurosurgeon at Narayana Hrudayalaya and Institute of Neurosciences. He was earlier the additional professor of neurosurgery at NIMHANS, Bengaluru. He is the past president of the Neurospinal Surgeons Association of India. He had his medical and neurosurgical training in India with further specialized training in USA, Japan and Netherlands. Though a doctor, he is a Vedantin, ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮ ಚಿಂತಕ. ಭಗವಂತನನ್ನು ಅರಸುತ್ತಾ, ಅರಿಯುತ್ತಾ, ತಮಗೆ ಅರಿವಾದದ್ದನ್ನು ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ತಿಳಿಸುವ, ತೋರಿಸುವ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡುತ್ತಾ ವಿಹರಿಸುತ್ತಿರುವ ಒಬ್ಬ ಶ್ರೇಷ್ಠ ಪಥಿಕ. His international talks include the International Gita Forum, Singapore 2016. He has addressed the 12th Gita Conference, Bengaluru in 2014. He was invited by the Vatican to speak at an international meeting and had a special audience with the Pope, His Holiness John Paul, in 1999. He has authored 30 scientific publications in leading journals. He has written a book on the history of neurosciences. He has received innumerable number of awards, including Dattatreya Prashasti, awarded by Sri Shirdi Sai Global Services Trust, Outstanding Citizen Award by Lions Club. He was selected as a member of the Group Study Exchange Program of the Rotary International to visit USA and Canada in 1997. Dr. Hegde enjoys traveling and has visited various places in the Indian Himalayas, Nepal, Bhutan, Lake Manasa Sarovar, and Mount Kailash, to name a few. He has been conducting Vedanta study groups at various centers. Feel very proud to say that many of us who are here are studying Vedanta under his noble, able, humble guidance. On behalf of Swami Ramatheertha Seva Foundation and Niramaya Yogakuteeram, I now request Dr. Timmappa Hegde sir to take us to a journey of Vedanta that is relevant in our day-to-day life. Hari Om. Thank you. Over to you.
Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Om. ಈಗ ಕೇಳಿಸದ? I am extremely grateful to Sri Raghavendra Shenoy sir for this opportunity to be with all of you and also to collect my thoughts on this topic. Vedanta, is it meaningful for us in our day-to-day life? First of all, what is Vedanta? Vedanta andre end portion of the Vedas, that is the Upanishads. 3 texts are important: Bhagavad Gita, the principal Upanishads, Brahma Sutra. There is one school of Vedanta which is perhaps the most difficult school, and that school is called Advaita Vedanta. We all belong to that school called Advaita. Let us look into the word Advaita. Dvaita andre eradu. Advaita means not two. That is why we don't say one, we say not two. Not two andre, that means there are others. All our problems, we are looking at Vedanta in day-to-day life. Where do we get problems? Problems come from others only. When we are fast asleep, in deep sleep, do we have any problems? No problems at all. The moment we wake up, why do we wake up? Because our mind wakes up. When we are fast asleep, the mind is in a very low level of functioning. Even though there is noise outside, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Idruno, no information reaches the brain because the mind is asleep. The moment the mind wakes up, then suddenly I realize I am awake, the world is born, and the moment the world is born, all the problems come. Our topic today is to understand this very difficult school of Advaita Vedanta. Advaita andre, although there are so many people, how I can understand that how the world should not be a problem. In this school of Vedanta, there is one nice rule. The rule is, as body-mind, andre, there are 2 important realities. This reality is called Vyavaharika. Once I wake up, Echirge admele, I will see the world around. This reality that I see, I can hear the traffic sound, I can see all of you around. This is real. This level of reality is called Vyavahara. Vedantic teachers give an example of dream. In dream, whenever you're dreaming, You have experiences, good or bad. The moment we wake up, what happens? The dream world has disappeared, and when you wake up, you feel that the dream world is of a lower order compared to this world. Whatever problems were there in dream now does not matter. Our job now in Advaita Vedanta is to wake up to a higher level of reality, and that reality is called Paramarthika. In Paramarthika, even though the world remains, the world is still there, I still have this body, I still have the mind, but now there is no problem whatsoever. Our teachers say, as body mind, and that is how we live in the world. And those of us who are in problem solving, like medical doctors, we know one thing for certain: as body mind, there is no permanent solution to any problem. Come what, we can give a temporary solution. Today one problem, tomorrow one other problem. But if you are able to wake up to Paramarthika, you live in the same body, you live in the same mind, but the beauty is the world ceases to be a problem. In today we will analyze how I can live in the same body, I can live in the same world, but the world will and all its problems is not going to affect me that much. That is the challenge we will take. In Advaita Vedanta, which is, I said, is the most difficult school, there are three main problems. Adi Shankara has said there are two great proponents of Advaita Vedanta. Everybody know about Adi Shankara, but we must know one more great teacher. There is one more great teacher of Advaita Vedanta. I will be happy if you can mention his name. Senior to Adi Shankaracharya. In fact, one of the first proponents of Advaita Vedanta is Adi Shankaracharya's grand guru. His guru is Govinda Bhagavat Padacharya, and Govinda Bhagavat Padacharya's guru is Gauda Padacharya. So in Advaita Vedanta, two important primal figures is Gauda Padacharya and Adi Shankara. Adi Shankara has said, in half a shloka, I will give you what is given in crores of Grantha. Grantha Koti Bihi. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Jivo Brahmaiva Napara. Now what is the difficulty? Brahma Satyam. What is Brahman? Difficult to know. So, first problem is I do not know what is Brahman and Brahma Satyam. Second is Jagan Mithya. This chair, all of you, my body, how can I say it is not real? Very difficult to accept the body is, this world is not so real. Jagan Mithya is a non-compromising truth in Advaita Vedanta. When Advaita Vedanta says that the world is not real, it does not mean the world does not exist. I experience the world. A comparison is given in dream. In dream, the dream world will affect me positively or negatively. The dream world will certainly affect me. But then when you wake up, you realize that there is a higher order. So therefore, you realize that there is a higher order only on waking up. Otherwise, when we are in this level, the world is absolutely real. So for the time being, we will take on that the great masters have said there is one higher level of reality, and all our sadhana is to reach that higher level of reality. And if it is possible, in this class now, shall we experiment a few sadhanas to be able to see that there is a higher level of reality? Because if I have tat darshitam yena param drishtva, if I am able to see that, yad gatva na nivartante taddama paramam mama. Once I am able to see that, then it is possible that the world and all its problems become less for us. Are we ready? First of all, let us look at where our problems come. Where do we get all our problems? We will classify our problems. This is a yoga center. When we come for yoga, our teachers will say standing exercises, sitting exercises, lying down exercises. When we are doing warming up, we will do warming up for the upper body, lower body, we do trunk. Like that, can we say in our life where or in what domains of our life problems come? And if you are able to identify from where the problems come, then we will be able to address that problem not from a Vyavahara angle but from a Paramarthika angle. If you can look into our own lives, there will be 5 zones or 5 domains where we get all our problems. For many of us, important is our work zone, the area where we work. It may be at home or even at the place of work. So in the work zone, all of us experience problems because you have your colleagues, you have your seniors, you will not be given the type of freedom that you want. You will be dumped with a lot of responsibilities. So work zone is one area where all of us will relate to certain problems. Second is in our own family zone. In our own family zone, what I want you to see in each zone, when I say work zone and in my family zone, what are the difficult people in my life in my work zone? What are the difficult people I see in my family? And what are the difficult situations? In my own family, very true, for many families, we will have unreasonable expectations from people around us. Sometimes, if you are blessed with a family where there is no unreasonable expectations, you are very lucky. But in a lot of families, there will be difficult people, difficult because that is their nature, and their very interaction is very insulting, demeaning, harsh words. And if you are a sensitive person, you find that interaction with that person very difficult. So in our family life, you will encounter difficult people, and because they are important by way of marriage or relationship, we have to live with them, we have to work with them, we have difficulties. So in our work zone, in our family zone, in our social zone. In our social zone also, there is a tendency to compare, my God, he's doing so well. Sometimes you feel in our own group, there is one person in our own medical group. All of us are still working, but this person every day, one day is in USA, one day he's in Africa putting pictures. Sometimes you feel, my God, how this fellow has so much money to travel to all places in the world. So in the social zone, there is a sense of comparison. Some people, they are doing so well. And in the social zone also, when you take a lead and organize some programs, there will be always people who will criticize you. So there will be criticism coming. So from your work zone, from the social zone, from the family zone. One more important zone is what is called the intimate zone, in my private zone. All of us have a zone which I know, and if I share it with few people, they may know, but sometimes there may be something very private which only I may know, I may not share with anybody. And because of that, there is a disparity between what I show others to be and what I truly am. Whenever there is a disparity between who I project myself to be and who I am, I can have a lot of problems from my intimate zone. So the moment I wake up, then I have to do a lot of drama because externally, then I have problems in my family. Problems means what? I want you to see this. Can you see, I have given you 4 zones. The 5th zone is the spiritual zone, which will help you to find solution to all these problems. So I want you to identify in my work zone, in my family zone, in my social zone, and within myself, what are those areas that produce a lot of tension and worry to me? If I had some Maha Mantra or somebody who could solve that problem, what is that issue that I would bring up to? Think about that. Now I want you to find a solution to that. And finding the solution to that will be This is a generalization, and I want you to see if it is true in your own life. Whatever I give a lot of importance to, in my work zone, in my family zone, in my social zone, it may be punctuality, it may be cleanliness, it may be some order. If I give a lot of importance to some person, that situation, that object can be the cause of all my problems. Just see. Therefore, but as Vyavahara, you will say, how can I give less importance? This person means a lot to me. And therefore, how he thinks, how she thinks, or how he relates may affect me. So, the world will not change. The world cannot change. The world will be, today I solve. The only way is how I use that fifth zone, the spiritual zone, to understand Advaita Vedanta, to be able to come so that the world and the people and the difficult persons will continue to be the same, but I will now be a mukta, means free. I will live in the same body, but I will not have any problems. Shall we be ready for that? Even before I go to problem solving through Vedanta, I will give you 3 important blocks. And these are 3 important blocks that we need to work on. The first block comes also a solution from Vedanta, particularly from the Kathopanishad. There is a phrase which I want you to remember, and that is called avidya kama karma. Can you repeat? Avidya kama karma. Just remember avidya kama karma. Avidya kama karma. Avidya means I am ignorant of my true nature. According to Advaita Vedanta, all of us from the very beginning are already that you can be. We are already that. Moksha or Parama Purushartha is not a goal to be achieved in this life. It is not a sadhyam. A sadhyam means a goal that I should do certain sadhanas to reach. It is a siddha vastu. You are already that, the teachers say. But there is a block. And this block is the Avarana Shakti of Maya. Very powerful Shakti. Not easy. We have to work on that. And that Avarana Shakti prevents me from knowing I am that. That is why the great Dakshinamurti, you will see one leg is always on Apasmara. To prevent that forgetfulness that I am that. I am Dakshinamurti. So the first is avidya. Because I do not know I am Purnamada, Purnamidam, I am complete by myself, a thought comes, if I become rich, if I become powerful, if I have this, if I have that, then I will be happy. The truth is I am already that. Because of avidya, karma comes. When karma comes, if you do that, you will be happy. Then can you keep quiet? The next thing is avidya, karma. Next thing is karma. I have to do karma. So the moola problem is avidya. Avidya gives rise to karma. Karma gives rise to karma. Whenever I do karma, if I do a good act, I will get punya. If I do a bad act, I will do papa. And this punya papa creates a vicious cycle of punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. Additionally, whenever I do any act which gives me joy, I want to repeat that act. I want to do that. So, if some action produces very unpleasantness, I want to avoid that. This is also a cycle called raga and dvesha. Raga means strong attachments, I want to repeat that. Dvesha means I want to avoid that. And whenever we repeatedly do what I like and avoid what I don't like, in my brain is a certain program called vasanas. Vasanas become very strong. And when the vasanas become strong, my life becomes programmed. And therefore, just watch this avidya kama karma. How does it affect us? This is not directly from the school of Advaita Vedanta, but it is from the school of yoga, Patanjali Yoga. There, it is said there are 7 chakras. Mooladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipura, and then the higher chakras. These are the 3 lower chakras. Then there is the Anahata, Vishuddhi, Agnya and Sahasrar. If a person is able to come to Anahata, Vishuddhi, Agnya and Sahasra, there is a certain evolution. But because of avidya, kama, karma and vasanas, we or many of us are stuck in the lower three chakras. The lower three chakras are what? Mooladhara, Swadhisthana and Manipura. Mooladhara deals with a very strong sexual drive, kama. And for various reasons, there is a certain amount of suppression or a poor understanding, and the sexual drive can work in so many ways. And because of that unfulfilled or improperly channelized drive, I can be stuck in the lowest chakra of Mooladhara chakra. And therefore, there is one area, if I am stuck in that level, I have to work on. Swadhisthana deals with insecurity, deals with fear. Life is insecure. I do not know how my tomorrow is going to be. I feel if I have money, I will have security. How do we work for Swadhisthana? By becoming rich, hoarding more and more money. And the insecurity will feel how much ever money I have, insecurity will still be there. And that is why human beings are driven to accumulate more and more money. And this comes from the second chakra or Swadhisthana. The third chakra is called Manipura. Manipura feels, I have been dominated by so many people. Today I want to dominate. You will see those who have been through certain inferiority will feel if I have political power, if I have any other administrative power, if I can be the boss. And the ego drive is to have control. So you will see the three lower chakras where Kama, insecurity and the need to dominate. And how do I work on these three chakras? Now, from our own level, once the moment I realize that this is an issue, then I know I have to work on it. I work on it by 5 methods. What are the 5 methods? One is Sankalpa, that I'm not going to go back to it. Second is Viveka. Viveka means I know this is not helping me. I have to get over it. Then Viveka and Sankalpa. Third is called Pratipaksha Bhavana. Pratipaksha Bhavana means if I have a miserly tendency, I have to necessarily be generous. Now, if a person has an alcohol need, as far as possible, he has to avoid the place where he will get exposed to alcohol. Otherwise, the Wali rule. The Wali boon is the moment you see what you want to avoid, half your energy goes to the other person and you lose control. So, third is Pratipaksha Bhavana. Fourth is called Prarthana. Who will help you? Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva has got the third eye, can destroy karma. In front of a Shivalinga, appeal to Lord Shiva. I have been stuck. I need to evolve. I need to go through this avidya, kama, karma. Please help me. Through satsanga, these are 5 methods. I can break through these lower chakras, help, and I can go beyond. And once I go beyond, I'm not going to look back into the lower parts. Can you repeat one phrase after me? There is one more we need to work on when you come beyond Manipura. Manipura is the ego center. Ego is not easy to get over. Can you repeat after me? Hurt and upset, whether justified or not, is always self-damaging. Hurt means if I am relating to somebody who insults me, but I cannot give it back because this is an important person in my life. Upset means I get angry, I can give back. Whether I get angry or whether I get hurt. Whenever you get hurt, whenever you get angry, the proof is I am egoistic. Think, that person may be justified, but I still have an ego. I'm still in level 3. My ego is still there. Therefore, if I have to go beyond that, I have to work on that Manipura chakra, my ego center. A student of spirituality should be insult proof. Nobody can insult me without my permission. Mahatma Gandhi had said, nobody can take away your self-respect unless you give it away. Tell yourself, Nobody can insult me unless I allow that person to insult. So I am now insult proof. Let them say whatever they say. I will get hurt. You know that FIR rule. Frequency of anger and upsets. Intensity. Level 1 mental. Level 2 verbal. Level 3 is in my body. But I know now I should not get upset. R is recovery. How quickly I work on it. So remember, a spiritually evolved person is going to be insult proof. People have their mouth, they will say whatever they want to say. I am not going to be affected. Each time I get hurt and upset, it is a reminder I have still to work on my third chakra. Sri Krishna had a very beautiful story, remember. First, I told you Lord Shiva's third eye. Appeal to Lord Shiva's third eye to help me to go over these three chakras. One more, Sri Krishna will help you. How will Sri Krishna help you? Rukmini, Sri Krishna's wife, had one major problem with Sri Krishna. She says, you are spending so much time on that flute of yours. What is there in the flute that I do not have? And you know what she says? You know what Sri Krishna's answer is? The flute is so empty. Whenever you are empty of the sense of who I am, Sri Krishna will play through you. Tell Sri Krishna, play through me. I am going to be a hollow bamboo. I am going to be very receptive. You speak through me. You work through me. Let me not have this ego. And so these three, through Lord Shiva, through Prarthana, through Satsanga, through Viveka, through Sankalpa, through Pratipaksha Bhavana, we have worked on these three centers. And then we will now come to pure Vedanta. Alright, until now it is preparatory guidelines. Now we will come to understanding what is Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya, Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha. Are we ready for that? This is difficult, but then tell yourself it may be difficult but possible. I am seeing so many of you. There are 40, 50, 60 people sitting here. I am seeing you, you are seeing me. My question is, am I really seeing you, or am seeing only an image of you? 60 of you, how do I see? All of you I am seeing because of my eyes. In my eyes, all of you, in both my eyes, you are small images. So immediately, the real you has become an image in both my eyes. You may be 5 feet or 6 feet, but in my eyes, 5 millimeters, small image on both my eyes. So suddenly, the Satya world has become a Mithya image in my eyes. From my eyes, it has gone into the brain, and in the brain, I can see you, but how do I see you? A woman thought, a man thought, Dr. Ravi Shankar, Dr. Aksha. So all these are only thoughts. Dr. Ravi Shankar is a thought in my mind. So although the world is real, to me the world has become a thought. My whole world is real, or the whole world is all imagery. Now this is what is meant by mithya. Ultimately, when it comes to our own understanding, the world is not as real as you think it is. It is all imagery. Vedanta teacher says, in your dream experience also you experience something absolutely real. But was there something real? They are all images. Now, we will do another experiment very similar to that. If you are ready for it, this is an enlightenment experience. Alright, this is my teacher, Swami Paramarthananda, has given this, and many of your students also. You will be able to answer this question immediately. I'll show you my hand. You are seeing my hand. In addition to seeing my hand, is there something else that you can see? So all of you are all experts, you know that in addition to my hand, you are now enlightened to see, you are seeing hand plus something unrelated to my hand. It is not part of my hand, it is not a product of my hand, it is not a property of my hand, but it is the light on my hand. In fact, Because of the light, you are seeing my hand. If light was not there, I can come in front of your eyes and do this, you will not see. That means we are suddenly enlightened to the fact that when I see this bottle, I am seeing because there is light on this bottle. I am seeing this mic because there is light on this mic. I am seeing all of you because there is light. I am seeing Swami Ramatheertha photo because there is light. Remember that mantra? Na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam nema vidyuto bhanti kutomya agni. Now, other than those which are self-illumined, like the vidyut, the sun, moon, stars and everything, all I can see, the whole world I can see. Why? Because of light. Now train yourself. This is also called Drikdrishya Viveka. In Kenopanishad, there is a very nice verse called Pratibodha Viditam Matam. I will come to that very slowly. In every experience, I am able to see that object plus light. Finally, I am able to see the image in my eye, and that image becomes a thought. I am able to see that thought. Why? Tvameva bantam anubhati sarvam. I am able to see the thought only if I am conscious. If I am not conscious, so many thoughts could be there. In my hospital, there are so many unconscious people. But you can throw light, you can do, they don't experience anything because the mind is not awakened to or not transmitting consciousness. Vedanta says there is consciousness everywhere. This consciousness is called Brahman or Atma. Just like there is light on my hand, which is not part, which is not product, which is not property, which is an independent entity because of which you are able to see my hand. If I remove my hand, light continues to be there, but you don't see it because there is no reflecting medium. So too, Brahman is like that. Brahman is not part of my body. It is not a product of my body. It is not a property of my body. It is an independent entity which pervades my body, enlivens my body and mind. Because of my body and mind, I am able to see all of you as thoughts. So in Pratibodha, in every experience, what do I see? I see thought and I see consciousness. You are agreed? Sometimes, keep your eyes closed for a moment. You will see some thought, traffic sound, there is a thought. Now sound, sights have gone, but sound you can hear, so there is a sound thought. Okay, in between two traffic noises, you will experience there are no thoughts. You can keep your eyes open. As you keep your eyes open, sometimes you will see there are no thoughts, but there is consciousness still there. This is an experiment. Do this for many years. In Pratibodha Viditam Matam, in every experience, I am seeing the experiencer. I will go a little further. Daytime, now so many people, when I go out, different experiences. Experiences are different. Experiencer is the same. In waking state, same experiencer. In dream state, different experiences, but this experiencer is the same. In deep sleep, just like there are moments when there are no thoughts, the experiencer is still there. In deep sleep, you know I have slept well, but that experiencer is there. Now go back to your childhood. My body has changed, my mind has changed, my thoughts has changed. One thing has never changed all these years. The experiencer within me has never changed. That which never changes in all three periods of time, that which never changes from childhood until now, which is always there, in Vedanta, it is called Sat. The definition of Sat. Sat, I am coming to Sat Chit Ananda. that which never changes in all three periods of time, that which is called Sat. This Sat is the same as consciousness, and the technical word for consciousness is Chit. So that experiencer within me is Sat Chit. Next point. Easy question. All of you can answer. Whom do you love the most? No doubt, no? Each one, you may have children, family members, but there is one person we love all the time, and that is ourselves. Now, second question. Do you love a person who gives you joy? Do you love a person who gives you sadness? Easy, no? We will love somebody who gives you joy. Why do I unconditionally love myself? Because I, in my essential nature, I am a source of joy. When I say I know my mind is problematic, my body is problematic, but there is something else I refer to as my, and that is the source of joy. That is why all of us love ourselves more. This is Vedanta's very strong method of, this is not through Shruti, this is through Yukti and Anubhuti. Vedanta will come to Shruti later on. Vedanta will say, the Upanishads will tell you Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. But Vedanta teachers will help you through Anubhuti, our own experiences and logic, to tell you, I am Sat, I am Chit, I am Ananda. My true nature is Sat Chit Ananda, about which it is very difficult to break this argument. This argument has to be my conviction. The moment I know I am Sat Chit Ananda, Ananda actually means Ananta. Because this Sat, which is there all the time, there you need Shruti help to see I was there from the very beginning, I will continue to be there, my body mind will come and go, but there is something that never comes and never goes, and that is the real me as Atma or consciousness. My real nature is Sat Chit Ananda Ananta. Now, how do I work on this? As I said, this is through exercises. I have to do this exercise again and again and again. I have to declare, I am Sat, I am Chit, I am Ananda. Vedanta gives us a few sadhanas. What are the sadhanas? One sadhana is called Karma Yoga. Whenever I do Karma Yoga, whatever work I have to do in my house, it may be cleaning, washing the dishes, whatever work you do it as Ishwara Arpana Bhava, Ishwara Prasada Bhava. If I do my work, daily work, as if I am offering it to God, if I am doing it through Karma Yoga, quietly in the mind, three important qualifications will come. Sat Asat Viveka will naturally come. That means I am Sat Chit Ananda becomes easy to understand. Once I know I am Sat and everything else, including my body, mind, is not so real. If I am Sat, what is Asat? See, the experiencer consciousness is Sat. All that is experienced. What do I experience? My body is an object of my experience. My mind is an object of my experience. My family members are an object of experience. My profession is an object of my experience. My friends, my possessions. These 6 things that we give importance all now become anatma. Viveka means I give more importance to Atma, less importance to Anatma. And this is called Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya, and I give less importance to all this, including those difficult people in my life who can say what they want to say. From now on, I am going to be insult proof, I am not going to be hurt, because I know I am Satchid Ananda. Poor fellow does not know what does it happen, but I know. I am not going to be allow him or her to take away my happiness. For transactional purposes, Swamiji, says what to do? Kar natak. In situations you have to cry in front of somebody, cry. But internally, my internal joy is so much because I am Satchit Ananda, I am Ananta. Whatever that fellow says, he wants to make me cry. In front, I can cry, I can say whatever, but my joy is not going to be affected. Slowly, we need to say, whatever happens to this 5, 6 anatma, my body, my mind, my family, including those who are very dear to me, my friends, my possessions, my profession, I have to come to Vairagya, and that comes through Karma Yoga. One lady went to Guruvayur temple. It was very crowded, and she was wearing some expensive bangles. Suddenly she realized her bangles have disappeared. She anticipated something is going to go wrong that day, but now she's in front of the Lord and she's saying that her expensive bangles are not there. She felt so terrible. I knew something is going to go wrong. I was alert, but I do not know what happened. Suddenly my bangles have disappeared. And then she prayed to the Lord, out of sorrow. Then she made a sankalpa. My Lord, I promise you, please help me to get my bangles. But I will do one thing. If you give it to me, I will put it in the hundi. What happened is, because she anticipated something, she took great precautions. She had put it in her purse. It was there in her purse. She was so happy, without thinking, she offered it in the hundi. Alright, now she has come out of the temple without her bangles. There was one moment when she had lost her bangles and she was very upset. Now she has given away something very precious. Is she happy or she is sad? Very happy. My family, my possessions, my profession, my body, my mind, can I give it off as tarpayami, pujayami to the Lord? I am only a custodian for the time being. You have lent it to me. At any time, you have the freedom to take it away. I voluntarily give it away because now I know I am Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. The Acharyas have given me. All these are part of my life. I love them, but I'm grateful to what you have given. But mentally, I have given it off to you, which means I am ready to live without all these 5, 6 anatmas. Can you see? Where will the world become a problem for you? Tell me. Think. Will the world now become a problem if you have, like that lady, given a sankalpa that I have understood my true nature. I am Brahma and anything anatma. So through Karma Yoga, we will do Karma Yoga for a certain period of time. And then we will do Upasana Yoga. Upasana Yoga is various forms of meditations. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. These are not time wasters. But when you spend few minutes, my mind now becomes mentally strong. I am able to handle difficult moments. Titiksha, Shraddha, Shama Adi Shakta Sampatti. My mind becomes strong. I now become receptive to Vedanta. Vedanta, Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya become more meaningful. Once Vedantic wisdom, like the teacher has given you, Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam has been given to you. Now I have to do Nidityasanam. The teacher has given you sweetness in your life. I may drink that coffee, but there is no sweetness. Why? I have not mixed it properly. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Aham Brahma. Aham Satyam, Aham Jnanam, Aham Nitya, I am Akhanda. Brahman is Satyam, Brahman is Jnanam, Brahman is Akhanda, Brahman is Akarta, Bhokta, I know. But now I have to do Nidityasanam. How do I do Nidityasanam? There is a nice shloka which says, Tat Chintanam, Tat Katanam, Anyon Tat Prabodhanam, Ekadeka Paratvam Cha. Whatever activity you do, bring in Brahma Vidya. Teach anybody that you can do. And how do you do it? Now you should say, I am Satyam, I am Jnanam, I am Anantam, I am Akarta, Abhokta. Very importantly, I am Asangaha, Asangaha. That means I have no more attachment to my body, to my mind, to my family, to my possessions. work on this for a certain period of time. One day, remember this mantra. This is a Maha Mantra. This mantra will become meaningful to you. Repeat after me. Vidyate Hridaya Granthi. Chidyante Sarva Samshaya. Kshiyante Chasya Karmani. Tasmin Drishte Paravare. Vidyate Hridaya Granthi. That avidya, kama, karma knot is like the knot of a tie. No knot. When you really explore, there is no knot. When you put the tie properly and when you remove, there is no knot. It was only a seeming knot. Vidyate, that granthi, that knot of avidya, kama, karma, which was going on through vasanas, has gone. Chidyante sarva samshaya, all my doubt, am I satyam, am I jnanam, is this world mithya? All the doubts are gone. Kshiyante chasya karmani, all my karma, sanchita, was all gone. Then only agami, but agami now it becomes somebody. Tasmin drishte paravare. There are two words important in Vedanta to remember. One word is called transcendental, the other is called immanent. Transcendental is like the light on my hand. Light is on my hand, but it is not off my hand. If there is any dirt on my hand, the light is not affected by that. The light is asangaha. So, asangaha means something beyond. It is not spatially beyond, but it is paramarthika. I now have tasmin drishte para. Para means the transcendental. Avare means immanent, something in and through. My essential nature now is Brahman. I have had that drishti, tasmin drishte paravare. That is Brahma Vidya. I will conclude by giving you 3 stories. Now, if this fact has to be true, and if it has to make a difference, and if all my problems have to go, one solution is satsanga. And there is a beautiful verse in Bhaja Govindam, repeat after me. Satsangatve nissangatvam nissangatve nirmohatvam nirmohatve nischalatatvam nischalatatve jivan mukti. Through satsanga, we can attain to jivan mukti in this life itself. Alright, 3 last stories. The first story. In the beginning of the 19th century, that means 1800 or something, a young boy was born in Orissa, Jagannath Puri. Passionate to make some difference to the world, learnt Sanskrit. At that time, Orissa had a tremendous famine. And he did like Swami Vivekananda, Swami Ramatheertha. Whenever there is a calamity, you can see people starving to death. You can't imagine the agony of people starving. And in those days, during British rule, we used to have large-scale famine because of the policies of, those British policies on agriculture. People had no food, they would die. He tried and tried. Then he went to Kamakya temple in Guwahati. And he did intense upasana to Annapurneshwari Devi. And he got that boon. The boon was thousands of people he could feed them. Now, hunger in the world was not a problem. After doing a lot of sadhana, he was able to get a boon to be able to solve the problem of hunger. He got this boon. While he was there, he attended one class of Viveka Chudamani. For the first time, he was exposed to Jnana Marga. And when he was exposed to Jnana Marga, he says, what am I doing with this Siddhi? Bhagwan has given me this Siddhi. Now Goddess Annapurneshwari can directly feed all those people. What am I trying to do? So suddenly he discovered that instead of using his Siddhi, he started propagating Advaita Vedanta. He became a great teacher in Vrindavan. Even today, his name is Odia Baba. You can Google Odia Baba. This is the story of Odia Baba. And then, of course, among there's a story. He was sitting in front of all his disciples. Two of his students were massaging one leg, and the other student was massaging the other leg. This is the story told to me by Swami Anubhavanandaji. Sometimes he says you should be very careful about your shishyas. So one fellow was massaging one leg, the other fellow was massaging the other leg. After some time, this is my leg, don't touch your leg. It became like that. He got a call to go somewhere. Somebody else came and started massaging this leg. Now, how can somebody touch my guru's leg? He got so angry, he took a heavy stick and hit his guru's head. Odia Baba died that way. That is the story of Odia Baba. Anyway, Google Odia Baba's story. Odia Baba had one outstanding student. Up to almost the age of 60, he was a Grahastha, phenomenally great person. His name is Swami Akhandanandaji Maharaj, a great teacher of Bhagavat, fluent Hindi. You can listen to his Google videos, YouTube videos are there. Swami Akhandanandaji Maharaj, very passionate in his teaching. Rishikesh story. I was in Rishikesh very recently. As he was walking, he saw one Avadut Maharaj. These Avaduts are sometimes without clothes, but looking at his face, there was a certain radiance in his face. So, normally, students will come to the teacher. This person goes to that Avadut's place, somewhere in the remote place, and he asks him, "Can I tell you the stories of Bhagavat?" That fellow says, "Okay, they have nothing to do. They live in very..." So, he was not exposed to the scriptures, but he was certainly a realized person. As Swamiji was telling him stories, this Avadut Maharaj was listening with tears in his eyes. He was just fascinated by listening. Day after day, Swamiji will come to him, relate the stories, and after a few days, it was time to say goodbye. And in our tradition, whenever the teacher teaches you something, when it is over, you have to give some Guru Dakshana. So the student who was now that Avadut Maharaj, he says, I am an Avadut, I don't have anything to give you, but I will give you something. From now on, I want you to remember, you are Sakshat Narayana himself. Swami Akhandanandaji Maharaj replied, from that day, I never forgot. One of his great outstanding students, Swami Akhandanandaji Maharaj, one who has been influenced a great deal by Swami Anubhavanandaji. One day Swami Anubhavanandaji was coming with me to Narayan Hridaya. Nobody else was there in the car. He never speaks, I don't speak. I don't know what occurred to me to tell this story, which I heard from him only. I have not heard. Swamiji, he listened to it and he said, Mahavakya, he says. For me, Mahavakya means Aham Brahmasmi. What Mahavakya? This is how a teacher will tell you, you are Sakshat Narayana himself. Think. This great teacher, Swami Anubhavanandaji, another realized master, is coming to Bangalore. We will have an opportunity to listen to him direct, not too far from here, 3 days, morning and evening, satsang. I'm using this forum to tell you to be with him because he's coming, that is 15th, 16th and 17th of January. 3 days, he will touch on the topic which is the highest form of karma, which is akarta abhokta, unbecoming and undoing. I will request you to attend these talks. How shall I conclude? Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಸೊಗಸಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಥಾನಕ್ಕೆ ತಗೊಂಡು ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ತಿಮ್ಮಪ್ಪ ಹೆಗ್ಡೆ ಅವರು. ವೇದಾಂತ ಅಂತಲೇ ಅದು. ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ನಾವು ಮರೆತ್ವಿ. ಹೊರಗಡೆ ವೆಹಿಕಲ್ ಸೌಂಡು ಕೇಳೋದು ನಿಂತು ಹೋಯ್ತು. ನಮ್ಮೊಳಗೆ ನಾವು ಮಾತಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ ಅಂತ ನನಗೆ ಅನಿಸ್ತು. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದೆಲ್ಲವೂ ಹೌದಲ್ವಾ 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 ಅಂತ. ಈಗ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದಾಗೆ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ ಏನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಸತ್ಸಂಗ. ಸತ್ಸಂಗದಿಂದಲೇ ಆರಂಭ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ಹೇಳ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಈ ಮಾರ್ಗಶಿರ ಮಾಸ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಸಾಧನೆ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಅನುಕೂಲ ಅಂತ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಸಂಕಲ್ಪ ದಿನ ಅಂತಲೂ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಸಂಕಲ್ಪ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಸತ್ಸಂಗಕ್ಕೆ ಅವಕಾಶ ಬೇಕಾದಷ್ಟು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾವೆ, ಸತ್ಸಂಗಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗೋಣ. ಮತ್ತು ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ತಿಳಿಸಿದ ಹಾಗೆ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಅನುಭವಾನಂದಜಿಯವರು 15, 16, 17 PS ಕಾಲೇಜ್, ಹನುಮಂತ ನಗರದಲ್ಲಿ PS ಕಾಲೇಜಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ಮತ್ತು ಸಾಯಂಕಾಲ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸ ಕೊಡೋರಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಪ್ರತಿ ವರ್ಷ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯ ನವೆಂಬರ್ ಡಿಸೆಂಬರ್ನಲ್ಲೇ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕಾಳಜಿ, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ನೋಡುವಂಥದ್ದು. ಇಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಅನೇಕರು ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿಯವರ ಪ್ರವಚನವನ್ನು ಕೇಳಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಹಾಗೆಯೇ ಇಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು 5-6 ತಿಂಗಳ ಹಿಂದೆ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿಗಳು ಬಂದಿದ್ದರು. ಅದು ನಮ್ಮ ಪರಮ ಭಾಗ್ಯ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಯಾಕೆಂತಂದರೆ ಅದು ಆಕಸ್ಮಿಕ. ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿಯವರು ಇದ್ದರೂ ಬೇರೆ ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಸರಿಯಾದ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಡೈವರ್ಟ್ ಆಯಿತು. ನಮ್ಮ ನಿರಾಮಯನ ಭಾಗ್ಯ, ರಾಮತೀರ್ಥ ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್ ಭಾಗ್ಯ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಹಾಗೆ ಇಂಥ ಒಂದು ವಿಶೇಷವಾದಂಥ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಸಹಜವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಇವತ್ತು ವಿಚಾರ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ನಾವು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾದಂಥ ಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಮತ್ತು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾದ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಗೆ ವೇದಾಂತವನ್ನು ತುಂಬ ಸರಳವಾಗಿ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ತಿಮ್ಮಪ್ಪ ಹೆಗಡೆಯವರು ನಮಗೆ ತಿಳಿಸ್ಕೊಟ್ರು. ನನ್ನ ಮನಸ್ಸಿಗೆ ಬಂತು, ರಾಮತೀರ್ಥರ 150ನೇ ವರ್ಷ ಇದು ಜಯಂತಿ ಆಚರಿಸಬೇಕು. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಈ ಥರ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸಗಳು ಆಗಾಗ್ಗೆ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನನ್ನ ಮನಸ್ಸಿಗೆ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು. ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಶುರು ಮಾಡೋದು ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದಾಗ ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ, ಡಾಕ್ಟ್ರೇ ನೀವು ಫ್ರೀ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ಅಂತ. ಡೇಟ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರು. ಆಯ್ತು, ನಾನು ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀನಿ, ಬರ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. ಅವ್ರು ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಇವ್ರು ಬೇರೆ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಇದ್ದಾದರೂ ಒಪ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರು. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಇದು ವಿಶೇಷವಾದಂಥ ಒಂದು ಏನು ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಹೇಳಬಾರ್ದು. ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲೂ ಬರಬೇಕು, ತುಂಬ ಜನ ಯೋಗಕ್ಕೆ ಬರೋರಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ನನ್ನ ಅನುಭವನ ಹಂಚ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಕಾಳಜಿಯಿಂದ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇದು 15 ದಿನಕ್ಕೊಮ್ಮೆ ಅಥವಾ ತಿಂಗಳಿಗೊಮ್ಮೆ ಈ ಥರದ ವಿಚಾರಗಳು ಮುಂದುವರ್ಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇವಾಗ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ. ವೇದಾಂತದ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಏನು ನಮಗೆಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಬೇಕು ಈ ಥರದ್ದು. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇನ್ನು ಮುಂದಿನ ದಿನಗಳನ್ನು ಯಾವ ಡೇಟು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ತರ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ತಿಳಿಸತ್ತೆ. ಅಥವಾ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾರಿಂದ ತಿಳಿಯಲಿಕ್ಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ತಿಳಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿನ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಬನ್ನಿ ಅಂತ ಈ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ. ವೇದಾಂತ ನಿತ್ಯ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೇವೆ. ಅದರ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಅನುಭವಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಅದು ನಿಜವಾದ ವೇದಾಂತ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದಾಗೆ ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲ ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತಲಿನ ಏನು ನಮಗೆ ಜಗತ್ತಿದೆ ಅದು ನಮ್ಮ ಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ನಾನು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಗ್ಗತೀನಿ, ಆದ್ರಿಂದ ನಾನು ಬಗ್ಗತೀನಿ. ನಾನು ಬಗ್ಗದೇ ಇರುವಂಥ ಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಬಂದುಬಿಟ್ರೆ ರಾಮತೀರ್ಥರು ಹೇಳಿದಾಗೆ ಆಲ್ ಇನ್ಫ್ಲೂಯೆನ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ನನಗೆ ದುಃಖ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಕಾರಣ ನಾನೇ, ನಾನು ಸಂತೋಷವಾಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು ನಾನೇ ಕಾರಣ ಅಂತ. ಇದನ್ನು ತುಂಬ ಸರಳವಾಗಿ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ತಿಮ್ಮಪ್ಪ ಹೆಗಡೆ ಹೇಳಿದರು. ಹೀಗೆ ನಮಗೆ ಆಗಾಗ್ಗೆ ಬಂದು ವಿಚಾರವನ್ನು ಹೇಳಿ ಜನರಿಗೆ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನರಿಗೆ ಇದನ್ನು ಉಪಯೋಗ ಆಗಲಿ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥ ಆಶಯದಿಂದ ಈ ಥರ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ಮಾಡೋದು ಬರಬೇಕಂತೇಳಿ ತಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ವಿನಂತಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ, ರಾಮತೀರ್ಥ ಸೇವಾ ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಶ್ರೀಯುತ ವೆಂಕಟ್ ಅವರು ಬರಬೇಕು ಮತ್ತು ಇಂದುಮತಿ ಅವರು ಬರಬೇಕು. ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಮತೀರ್ಥ ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್ನ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಕಿರುಕಾಣಿಕೆಯನ್ನು ಕೊಡಬೇಕಂತ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀನಿ.